I just want to start by saying that this is not a tutorial, just more of a walkthrough of how I approach figure drawing. And today's figure drawing will be from posemaniacs.com, and somewhere here you will see the reference that I'll be using. All right, let's begin. So I want to start by looking for the weight-bearing leg of the figure, which would be the left leg. So confused because it's the other way around. So what I do is just draw the line of motion or line of action. And I start with a circle. Actually, I'm going to lower this because of the arm. See how much we can fit on this page. A sphere, a circle, very badly drawn. The face. It's roughly where the brow would go. Very feminine face too. Cut off the size of the sphere just a little bit. I'm not doing a 100% accurate head, just so long as it looks like one. I can already see it's very inaccurate. Actually, I've already made a mistake. Where is my putty eraser? The head is actually more to, on the fact that it's more to the side. It's not actually straight, it's more like, so hold on. Start with the circle once again. Problem with this blue is once you erase once, it just, smudges. So the head is a little bit off center, just a tiny bit, not much. More like that. I'm cutting off the edges just a little bit. Again, not drawing the head to 100% accuracy, just enough that you can see that, okay, that is a face of a figure. Round off the top. I think that looks better. One thing I always struggle with is the neck. So before I do the neck, let's give it a little bit of space and draw, I guess, the line of the shoulder. And this part of the torso actually pinches in with a slight C-curve. This is going to make a nice bigger C-curve on the other side. A bit of another pinch C-curve. This would be the hip. Okay, so this might not go all the way, but we'll see. The leg. And then the weight-bearing leg. It's actually bent, so we're not going to see much of it. And you can already see this triangle here that's been formed between both feet. It's not an accurate triangle, but it's a little triangle that's formed there. This arm comes in and is holding the pole. We'll get to that a little bit later. It's creating a few small little stick line gestures, I guess. It's getting in the way. And I'll go through how I illustrate the hand. Still not very good at it. One day. All right, we have a floating head and somewhat of a gesture. Before I get into detail with the neck, I just want to see which way the torso is leaning. Which way the torso is actually pointing. It's actually pointing outwards. So it's going to go in that direction. And then come down. Alright, so again, neck is always like a weaker part for me. This neck actually comes sort of straight down. It's part of the neck anyway. Let me say part of the neck. This actually curves. So that's a line, another C curve. The clavicle. It's important to learn the landmarking bones of the human body. So now this is an ellipse or an egg to illustrate the torso. And then there's another egg lying down, a little bit smaller. That would be the pelvis. And here's the shoulder, the right shoulder, and the left shoulder. It's going to be a very interesting pose, this one. I see. I can already see what I did wrong here. This section is way too far out. In fact, it's going this way. It's more going up. So this will come closer. This is no big deal. So we're going to have to bring the shoulder in. Shoulder actually does this. Just nearly at that angle. Draw arrows for that. The hips are almost just, as one would say, squared. Alright, so we're going to have to bring this in. That's why this was looking very awkward for me. This egg shape I'm going to have to make a little bit smaller. It's not an accurate measurement, just very basic. What I actually want to try is using the box technique. I'm sure some of you know of that one. Not really good at it, but learning. That's the end. That's the sternum, rib cage. I like to almost put the egg shape. It goes a little bit through a little past the neck. Sorry, not through, past. Alright, so there we go. Shoulder actually connects. It actually goes over this egg shape. This also goes over and up. Alright. That tilts inward. This will give us that nice stretch. This looks a little bit better now. Alright. And again, I'm going to do the pelvis. It's going to come along this line here. The bottom of the rib cage tends to align with the topmost bone of the pelvis. Okay. I'm going to make it it's going to still stay a circle, but I'm going to make a box out of it. Doesn't have to be a completely accurate box. But there it is. What I wanted to do at the top here, also create a box. Once again, I'm not really very good at this. I'm just learning as well. My perspective, I am still studying. Actually studying using a very good perspective book. So if that goes that way, it's actually slightly tilts to the top. Slightly. Give it a little bit of a tilt there. See, this is the part that confuses me. Make it a little bit straight. This is essentially pelvis. Never gone in so much detail like this before. I usually am so quick. Alright, now we have the shoulder, which once we get into muscle, a good way to remember the shape of it is a tulip. Turnip. No, tulip is a flower. I always make that mistake. Tulip is a flower. Why did they both start with T's? Basic shape of the hand, which is a polystyrene cup, or that's what works for me. You could always do a circle or a box or a rectangle, any shape that makes sense to you. I've always been easier for me to associate it with a polystyrene cup. Remember, I said there's a pole that goes through here, which is not going to be straight, but bear with me. Okay, now the legs. Which always seemingly thicker. They start thick and then become thin. She's got long legs. Wow, make them just a little bit shorter, like me. So I made a cylindrical shape for the pods. Just remember this triangular shape. What I like to do is try and almost align the knees in like a circular motion, like you did when you had a compass at school. Might have to give her a bigger pelvis. Oh, she's so short. Okay, so this leg goes backwards and I have to foreshorten it somewhat. So what I'm going to do is do wrapping lines. Not entirely accurate. Just to give it a sense of depth. Now drawing the foot, what's my shortcut for drawing the foot? I actually have no idea. I guess also like a styrofoam cup a little bit. Circles are always where I draw the joints. While we're hitting the end of the page there, not going to look accurate at all. I have to fix it just now. Okay, so we got the basics down. Looks like a body, right? Now we're going to go to this arm. It goes up, but past the length of the head. Again, I'm not really that focused on this hand is going to disappear. I'm so sorry. Now with the forearm, I remember somebody suggesting let it be shaped like a baseball bat a little bit. Again, the hand disappears somewhat. Terrible looking thumb. And that is the basic. A very thin upper body. See if I can't give it some more volume. I'll take I think this is it's a B or a 2H lid. Again, not very serious about this face or the head. Sometimes I'll add in the ear, sometimes. Just realized this neck is really long. I'll shorten it a little bit. It'll give it that volume actually, because this clavicle actually goes around. Our turnip. I had to think about that. I was like, turnip, turnip, turnip. It's a vegetable. Our turnip shaped shoulder, deltoid. Is it deltoid? I think it's a deltoid. She does fitness, but she doesn't remember all the muscles. See, this is more boxy than it is a styrofoam cup. Well, you've got a shoulder. Okay, now why this would look very out of sorts is, can you see the torso is actually now disappeared behind that shoulder. So what I can do is follow the line of this muscle with the traps and just round it off, and you'll see it will just give the body some more shape. I'm going to focus too much on the neck muscles. Let's not do that. Okay, now with the breasts, they actually end. They're in line with the sternum, as far as I recall. It's not exactly aligned the way I'd like it to be, but it's okay. Bone of the pelvis. Need to understand why. Let's see if I do it this way. Not follow my original sketch to a T. Might have to. This actually makes more sense now. Look at that. I was just looking at the reference and I noticed the box here actually moves outwards. End of the hip. Okay. Once again. Put that calf in. Our foot. Doesn't look foreshortened enough, does it? Just gonna add this in. I never really do, but I need it to make sense to me. It's about to draw the muscle. We'll leave that alone. The seamless line. Look at how gorgeous this is. What a beautiful one line of motion. Okay, we have an issue. The muscle isn't the same on both sides. One side will look higher than the other. You'll notice that with ankles as well. You start to learn these tricks about anatomy. It's really eye-opening. You see your body very differently. Oh, this toe. Okay, this was fun. This arm is not entirely accurate. Let's get our baseball bat. Gets thinner towards the wrist. That is the gist. Oh, look at that. That changed. So, it's not exactly to the reference, but looks like our pole came a little bit closer towards the body. Just fine. And then I pull out my uni pin pen. I love these. And I just line over it. This is my worst because I have to keep my wrist on the page. A beautiful looking deltoid. Oh man, I messed that up. I messed that up. Okay, clavicle would have gone like so. It's a fun one. It's a really, really nice pose. Very exaggerated. I love it. Oh, I think I just ruined this foot. I did. Look at that heel. What kind of heel stops there? It's like this little corner. Yeah, so that quad needs a bit of love. Foreshortening is really, really hard for me. But something I am studying. Want to get better, you gotta do the things you do not want to do so you can become better at them. Okay. Our thumb, which I've butchered again for the second time. What I'd like to do at the end is just once again follow the weight bearing leg. So the arrows I usually put in as movement, where what's going where, in what direction. And we add the wrapping lines to consider how they wrap around. Some go over, some go under. Michael Hamilton really does a fantastic explanation of this in his book. Check it out. And that is it. Thank you for hanging out with me. Until we meet again.